Hello fellow book lovers and welcome back to my channel. It's Keely here. Today I was thinking of doing my top 5 favourite series of all time. I wanted to do this basically just so I could gush about my favourite books, but also so that you guys could get to know a little bit more about what I like to read and my favourite series. This is only going to be series that have 3 or more books. I do want to do another one that's a standalone, my favourite standalone books, because my favourite standalone books are vastly different from my favourite series. A lot of my favourite series are all kind of fantasy and YA mostly, whereas a lot of my favourite standalones are historical fiction or crime or mystery. So yeah, I would definitely be doing my favourite standalones as well. But without further ado, let's get into my top 5 favourite series of all time. So, well, I say top 5, but it's kind of cheated a little bit. It's more like 6 or 7. So my honourable mention, well, I have to say, is Harry Potter. The reason I'm not including that in the top 5, even though it is my number 1, is because I feel like it's just such a standard. It's such a standard one, and I want to give a little bit more than that. And I feel like I have already mentioned Harry Potter before in my previous video. But yeah, Harry Potter I feel like is just one of those series that will always have a special place in my heart and my soul. It just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy every single time that I read it. It's just one of those books that I will just cuddle up with on the sofa and just feel warm and snuggly and at home when reading it. So yes, that is my honourable mention. And coming up next, we have, this one's a little bit of a cheat. I put 2 in one, mainly because they're from the same author. So that is A Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas and Of Course of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I feel like this is again a standard one, but I could not bear to not have one of these in here. But I also didn't want them to take up 2 spots, so I'm putting them both as one. I just absolutely love both of these series. I really, really do. They again hold a special place in my heart. I love these characters. I just love these series, basically. If you do not know, although I'm sure you do, Throne of Glass follows an assassin who is trained, an assassin who takes part in these trials to become the king's assassin. And it is full of magic and fae and all things amazing. And yeah, I just love it. I love the characters, especially ones that we meet later on down the line. But yeah, absolutely love this series. I think I've read it through 2 or 3 times now. I'll probably continue to read this through for a long time. So Of Course of Thorns and Roses, again, I'm sure you already know, but if you do not know, this is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling at the start anyway, and we follow Feyre. She ends up killing a fae and she is brought back to Prythian, which is the Feyland, where she lives with a high fae. And yeah, we basically follow Feyre, and I don't really want to say too much because I feel like it just gives a lot away, but I love, love, love this series. I just absolutely love the dynamic between the characters. I love the fantasy world. I love the fae. I love everything about this book. I really do. And Rhysand, I don't really think I have to say much more. I love Cassian. I love Asriel. I'm very excited for the new book, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Nesta, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm excited to read more about Cassian. So yes, that is that. So we have The Demon King, which is the 7 Realms series by Cinda Williams-Chimer. I absolutely love this series. I flew through it when I read it, which is quite a while ago now, but it still holds a place as one of my favourite series. This is a high fantasy series. It's set in the Queensdom of Fells, and we start off in the city of Fellsmarsh. So this follows Han Alistair, who is a low-born kind of common thief, and Princess Raja and Mariana. I feel like I butchered that name. So both of their paths end up intertwining as they fight for Raja's claim to the throne. As well as this, Han picks up and finds this magical amulet that belongs to one of the most powerful wizarding families in the realm, and they will stop at nothing to get it back. This is full of political intrigue, it's got a bit of romance in there, there's a lot of swordplay, magic, castles, it's basically everything that I would want in a fantasy series. So yes, there is this. Next up we have The Final Empire, so the Mistborn. This is a trilogy actually by Brandon Sanderson. So this is again another fantasy, shocker. So this trilogy is based on What If the Dark Lord won. So we follow Kelsier and Vin. And Vin gets recruited into Kelsia's kind of band of rebels, and they are basically trying to take down the Dark Lord, who rules over their realm. The magic system in this is very interesting. So basically you have Mistborns, which Kelsier is one of, and they consume all metals and they get powers from them. Most people can only consume one metal and get one certain power, but Mistborns can consume all of them and have all these different powers. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, very good. I love this trilogy. It's written amazingly. I've also started The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I'm sure I'm going to love that series just as much, if not more. I've heard amazing things. But I did start The Way of Kings whilst I was in a book slump, which really wasn't a very good idea. It's a very heavy, very thick book to read, and at the time it was not what I needed to get me out of my book slump, but I definitely will be picking it up again because what I did read of it I absolutely loved. So yes, I'm sure I will probably have another Brandon Sanderson to add to this list very soon. So next up we have The Diviners by Libba Bray. I absolutely love this series. This series literally has everything that I would want in a book, to be honest. It's set in the 1920s, which is probably one of my favourite time settings ever. And we follow these people called the Diviners, and they have magical abilities. This is basically a ghost murder mystery kind of novel. It really is amazing. You have the 1920s New York kind of vibe and theme, you have ghosts, you have murders, you have people with magical abilities trying to hunt down the murderers. It honestly is amazing. I really, really love this series. I just recently finished the last one and so good. I'm literally so sad that it's finished. Yeah, so definitely, I will definitely be rereading this again at some point. Yes. So last but certainly not least, we have the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. Now the reason I'm holding Morningstar is because the first two books in this series are actually currently at my mum's house. So I do not have them here with me right now, but I probably will have them back soon. Anyway, I love this trilogy. I absolutely flew through this trilogy. If you do not know, this is a kind of sci-fi that's set on Mars, the planet on Mars in the future. We follow Darrow, who is a lowborn red, and he basically infiltrates the elite, the Golds, who are the elites. He infiltrates them and tries to take them down from the inside. This is amazing, honestly. This book is so good. There's so much to this book, there really is. Each book ends on such a cliffhanger, you just have to pick up the next one. I remember when I finished Golden Sun, I wanted to die because I didn't have Morningstar yet. Oh god. But yeah, they are amazing. I would highly recommend picking these up. Even if you're not a fan of sci-fi, trust me, you will love this series. So yeah. So that is all for today. They are my top 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 favourite series currently of all time. I'm sure I will be adding more to this list. Let me know in the comments what your favourite series are. I would love to know. I would love to pick them up, maybe read them if I haven't already. Yeah, I will definitely be filming my favourite standalones at some point. So yeah, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.